The story kicks off in the lush, peaceful realm of Edenia. King Gerard spends a quiet moment with his young daughter, Katana. He gently hands her a beautifully glowing blue necklace, explaining that it's a sacred blessing straight from the thunder god Lord Raiden, who is always watching over them. But this piece is shattered in an instant. Without warning, the sky violently tears open. Massive dark clouds roll in as Shao Kahn, the ruthless emperor of Outworld, launches a brutal invasion. Shao Kahn is an absolute monster with a predatory ambition to conquer every single realm in existence. But there is a catch. The ancient elder gods have set strict rules for war. No one is allowed to use massive armies. Instead, the fate of the realms is decided in brutal, one-on-one death matches called Mortal Kombat. The stakes are terrifying. If a realm loses 10 of these tournaments in a row, they are completely wiped out and taken over. Right now, Edenia is out of warriors. They have nobody left to defend them. So King Gerard has no choice but to step up and fight for his home himself. The two kings clash, and it is an epic, heavy-hitting battle. Gerard is fast and precise. He swiftly disarms Shao Kahn, striking hard enough to sink the Emperor's massive weapon deep into a solid stone statue. But Shao Kahn doesn't even flinch. He violently yanks his weapon out, shattering the heavy stone into dust like it is nothing. Gerard refuses to give up. He relentlessly stabs Shao Kahn multiple times, but the damage is practically nothing. It barely even phases the giant Emperor. Shao Kahn brutally counters. He grabs the sword, pulls it straight through Gerard's fingers, and then smashes him to the ground with his giant hammer, killing him instantly. With the king dead, the beautiful realm of Edenia instantly rots, turning into a dark, dead wasteland. Seeing her husband fall, Queen Sindel screams and rushes at the Outworld guards, but they overpower her in seconds. Shao Kahn forces the entire defeated realm to their knees, declaring his victory. However, in the chaos, little Katana sneaks over to her father's lifeless body. She quietly takes a blue ribbon from him and ties it into her hair as a tragic keepsake. Shao Kahn spots the little girl. Instead of killing her, he decides to adopt her on the spot, raising her as his own. We flash forward 20 years into the future. Katana has grown into a highly trained lethal assassin. We see her intensely sparring with her bodyguard, Jade. Jade is skilled and actually seems to have Katana cornered for a moment, but Katana is too smart. She uses her signature blue ribbon as a makeshift whip, tripping Jade up and winning the match. Despite the harsh training, Jade is deeply thankful for their bond. Katana treats her like a real sister. To show her loyalty, Jade gifts Katana two deadly, razor-sharp fan blades. Back inside the dark Outworld Palace, Emperor Shao Kahn stands before his forces and announces his next major target, Earth. At the exact same time, the dark and creepy sorcerer Shang Tsung arrives on the scene. He is hunting for a very specific item, the Amulet of Shinnok. This is an insanely overpowered relic that grants immortality to whoever holds it. The problem? It was recently stolen by a trash-talking mercenary named Kano. Meanwhile, down on Earth, the thunder god Lord Raiden is frantically trying to gather his best fighters. The magical hourglass is almost empty, meaning the tournament is about to begin, and they are short one champion. The scene cuts to a gritty warehouse where action movie star Johnny Cage is fighting off a whole gang of street thugs. He looks unstoppable. He flawlessly dodges a massive rocket, which flies past him and blows up a helicopter instead. But the camera pulls back, and we realize it's all a lie. None of this is actually happening. It's just an old movie playing on a television screen. In reality, Johnny's acting career has completely tanked. He is dealing with the harsh reality of being a washed-up celebrity, sitting alone at a convention, signing autographs for a crowd that doesn't even exist. As a depressed Johnny is packing up his car, Lord Raiden and a tough special forces agent named Sonya Blade approach him. Johnny brushes them off, thinking they are just overly obsessed fans. But then Raiden casually raises his hand and opens a massive glowing magical portal right in front of him. Johnny hesitantly crosses over and finds himself standing inside the ancient Sky Temple. He looks around, watches monks literally shooting fireballs from their bare hands, and absolutely freaks out. He screams that he doesn't have any magic powers. Sonya steps up and bluntly explains the situation. She tells him that if Earth loses this final tournament, it will trigger total chaos, and their world will belong to Shao Kahn. Even hearing this, Johnny still wants to bail, hilariously claiming his black belts aren't enough for this crazy magic stuff. Over in the dark realms of Outworld, the creepy necromancer Quan Chi is busy performing some seriously dark magic. His Outworld goons drag in the dead, lifeless body of the mercenary Kano. Using his dark spells, Quan Chi resurrects Kano from the dead. The second Kano wakes up, he instantly remembers what happened. Sonya is the one who killed him and broke his laser eye. Seeing an opportunity, Quan Chi fixes Kano up, giving him a brand new deadly cybernetic laser eye. Back at the Sky Temple, the final grain of sand drops in the hourglass. The tournament has officially started. Sonya starts glowing with magical energy and teleports away to her first fight. Meanwhile, Johnny is sitting in a local bar, still depressed, when he is suddenly ripped through space and dropped face first into the Outworld arena. Katana appears appears in front of him, standing beneath a dark sky full of floating magical flames. She explains that each flame represents a fighter's life. The giant gong hits, and Katana instantly goes on the attack, throwing a deadly fan. Johnny barely dodges it, but Katana closes the distance and unleashes a flurry of bone-breaking kicks. Realizing his life is actually on the line, Johnny finally takes the fight seriously. He blocks her strikes and lands some clean, heavy hits of his own, but Katana is simply too skilled. She slashes his leg, jumps onto his back, and violently drops him straight through the wooden roof of the arena. Shao Kahn orders Katana to finish him, but for some reason she hesitates. Johnny passes out, his life flame extinguishes in the sky, and he is officially eliminated. At the exact same time, Sonya faces off against Sindel, who is now Shao Kahn's brainwashed wife. Giant deadly spikes violently shoot out of the floor, creating a terrifyingly tight death trap. Sindel attacks first, blasting Sonya back into a solid wall with a high-pitched, supersonic banshee scream. Sonya frantically searches for cover. She grabs a dead skeleton off the ground to use as a makeshift shield, blocking the next scream just long enough to create an opening. She charges forward and tackles Sindel. The two tough women grapple intensely on the stone floor. Sonya manages to put Sindel in a brutal chokehold, pulling out her weapon and blasting energy bolts straight through Sindel's torso. To finish it, Sonya wraps her legs tight around Sindel's neck, flips backwards, and throws the evil queen directly onto one of the giant spikes. Sonya wins the bloody match. Johnny wakes up back at the Earth Temple, moping and complaining about his loss, but Raiden tells him he needs to change his perspective. Out of nowhere, Katana safely teleports right into the middle of the temple. Johnny instantly gets furious, but Raiden drops a massive bombshell. Katana is actually a double agent working for Earth. She only beat Johnny up in the arena to fool her adopted father, Shao Kahn. She warns the Earth heroes that Shao Kahn has finally secured the Amulet of Shinnok. If he manages to fully power it up, everyone is going to die. Back at Earth's home base, the team is absolutely horrified when their dead friend Kung Lao suddenly materializes out of thin air. Quan Chi used his dark magic to revive him, and now Kung Lao fights exclusively for Outworld. Moving with lethal speed, Kung Lao throws his razor-rimmed hat, immediately slashing Raiden's throat. Utter chaos erupts in the room. Sonya starts fiercely brawling with Quan Chi, trying to stop his magic, while the sorcerer Shang Tsung attacks Johnny, literally sucking the glowing life energy right out of his body. Sonya desperately fires a blast of energy, knocking the villains back and forcing them to retreat. Over in Outworld, Quan Chi completes his dark ritual. He literally implants the magical amulet straight into Emperor Shao Kahn's bare chest. Seconds later, down in the dark, nasty sewers, Shao Kahn faces off against the Earth champion Cole. Cole doesn't hold back. He immediately hits the Emperor with a powerful energy beam, but the blast does absolutely nothing. Cole charges in and fiercely stabs Shao Kahn directly in the chest, but the glowing amulet heals the deep wound instantly. Shao Kahn just laughs at the attempt. He swings his massive hammer, crushing Cole in one blow, and carelessly tosses his lifeless body into the disgusting sewer sludge. Meanwhile, Earth's heavy hitter Jax is fighting Jade in another arena. Jax uses his massive cybernetic arms to completely overpower and disarm her. She bravely fights on until she physically collapses from exhaustion. Jax is about to end it, but he remembers Katana's plea. Showing mercy, he spares Jade's life and walks away. Elsewhere, the fire monk Liu Kang faces a heartbreaking battle. He is forced to fight his brainwashed best friend Kung Lao. They clash in a fast, intense martial arts duel. They are perfectly matched until Kung Lao ruthlessly teleports and throws his deadly hat. Realizing his best friend's soul is gone forever, Liu Kang makes a tough choice. He traps Kung Lao's legs in a ring of flames, grabs his old friend, and forcefully drives Kung Lao down onto the edge of his own spinning blade, killing him. Shao Kahn takes the amulet out of his chest and locks it safely away in a heavy metal cage. At the same time, Quan Chi uses his magic to revive the deadly ice ninja, Sub-Zero. The surviving Earth crew regroups, absolutely devastated by the news of Cole's brutal death. Katana arrives with even worse news. Raiden is dying, and the portal to Earth is slowly collapsing. Their only play left is to sneak into the Outworld castle through a dangerous underground mutant tunnel. Katana heads back to the castle to keep her cover, but Jade immediately arrests her for treason. The Earth champions navigate the dark tunnels and find the mutant camp. They meet their terrifying leader, Baraka. Liu Kang politely asks for his help, but Baraka firmly refuses. Knowing they desperately need Baraka's muscle, Johnny comes up with a crazy plan. He purposefully starts insulting Baraka to trigger a fight. It works. Baraka unleashes his massive razor-sharp arm blades and totally dominates Johnny, violently smashing the actor right through the ceiling. But Sonya yells at Johnny to stop acting like a movie star and actually fight for his life. Johnny finally locks in. He dodges the heavy blades, weaves through the attacks, and lands a brutal low groin strike, dropping the giant mutant to his knees. Surprisingly, Baraka is impressed by Johnny's sheer disrespect and fighting spirit. so he agrees to help them. Baraka quietly sneaks the Earth team to the castle entrance. He silently and brutally executes the guards with his blades before slipping back into the shadows. Inside the main throne room, Shao Kahn is tired of the games. He threatens to violently kill Sindel just to force Kitana to talk. Unable to watch, Kitana confesses that she has been helping Earth all along. Furious, Shao Kahn chains her up high in the town square to be tortured as an example. Inside the dark castle corridors, Liu Kang finally spots the glowing amulet, but it's a trap. Shao Kahn steps out of the shadows and ambushes him. Liu Kang channels all his chi and summons twin dragons made of pure fire, completely engulfing the Emperor in searing flames. But Shao Kahn is too strong. He literally walks right through the fire without a scratch. Liu Kang manages to knock Shao Kahn's heavy hammer away, but Shao Kahn easily overpowers the monk with his bare hands. Suddenly, Jax and the rest arrive to help. Jax uses his massive metal arms to forcefully tear open the metal cage holding the amulet, while Liu Kang desperately distracts the boss. But Shao Kahn is way too fast. He spins around, violently impales Jax's metal arm with his hammer, and literally rips the entire cybernetic limb right off Jax's body. Sonya frantically shoots lasers at him, but Shao Kahn brutally swats her away. Jax tries to block the next strike with his one good arm, but Shao Kahn shatters that one too. Johnny sprints across the room to grab the amulet, but the resurrected ice ninja Sub-Zero drops down from the ceiling and steals it right out of his hands. Using the distraction, Shao Kahn turns and viciously stabs Jax in the neck, killing the Earth hero instantly. As Shao Kahn and Sonya vanish to fight in the next tournament round, the mercenary Kano casually strolls into the room, backed up by a full squad of Outworld guards. It looks like it's over for Earth, but in a massive shocking twist, Kano turns around, lines the Outworld guards up, and blasts them all to ash with his red laser eye. He turns to Johnny and explains that he much prefers Earth's luxuries over this ugly wasteland, so he is officially switching sides. They quickly learn that Sub-Zero took the stolen amulet down to the Netherrealm, which is basically hell itself. Barely holding on to his life, Raiden uses the last drop of his magic to teleport Johnny and Kano down there. To survive the absolute nightmare of this fiery, lava-filled wasteland, they know they need a guide. They recruit the terrifying, vengeful ghost, Scorpion. Scorpion has a deep, burning hatred for Sub-Zero for murdering his family years ago, so he gladly agrees, completely hulking out in thick demonic armor. Back up in Outworld, Jade has Kitana tightly chained to the torture post, completely ignoring her former friend's desperate pleas for mercy. To make matters worse, Jade has the sorcerer Shang Tsung cast a dark enchantment on her weapons, so she can guard the arena where the amulet is supposed to be. Liu Kang and Sonya finally locate Kitana, but before they can even try to rescue her, Shao Kahn spawns right into the arena for the final match. He doesn't even give them a chance to breathe. He absolutely steamrolls both of them, leaving Sonya bleeding out on the ground. Down in hell, an epic fight breaks out. Sub-Zero uses his magic to create solid, freezing ice clones of himself. Johnny fiercely tackles one of the clones, holding it completely still so Kano can blast it to pieces. But another ice clone sneaks up and grabs Kano from behind. Thinking fast, Kano shoots his eye laser straight down at the clone's belt. The blast forces the clone to drop the amulet, and Johnny perfectly slide catches it right before it tumbles down into the boiling lava. A third clone kicks Kano right off the edge of a steep cliff, but Kano violently stabs the rocky wall with his combat knife, hanging on for dear life. With the clones gone, Sub-Zero merges his power back together to face off against the demonic Scorpion. Up in the Outworld arena, things are completely falling apart. Liu Kang's fire magic is completely useless against Shao Kahn's heavy hammer strikes. Shao Kahn savagely stabs Liu Kang, causing the monk to vanish into a burst of flames. Shao Kahn then turns his attention to Sonya, brutally crushing her down. High above in the sky, the final flame officially goes out. Earth has officially lost the tournament, but suddenly, a massive twist happens. Kitana uses all her strength to break free from her heavy chains. She summons her Razor fans and officially declares herself to the gods as Earth's final replacement champion. The ancient magic of the sky accepts her challenge, instantly forcing a sudden death match. She charges Shao Kahn and aggressively slashes him, but his dark magic armor completely absorbs the heavy blows. Down in hell, a teleporting ice clone manages to grab Johnny, dangling him directly over a fiery pit of lava. Johnny swings his body, kicking the clone hard in the face, sending the ice ninja plummeting down to melt in the fire. During the struggle, the amulet drops onto a lower rock. Meanwhile, the demon Scorpion wraps the merged Sub-Zero in glowing, burning chains, slicing the ice ninja wide open in a brutal combo. Badly wounded, Sub-Zero retreats to kill Johnny and secure the amulet. Suddenly, Jade drops down into hell. It turns out Kitana's desperate words actually got through to her, and she has switched sides. She points her newly enchanted Outworld weapon directly at the amulet and fires. Seeing the plan, Kano climbs up and blasts it with his laser, while Scorpion breathes pure hellfire onto it. At that exact second, Raiden teleports a powerful psychic message directly into Johnny's brain, unlocking the actor's hidden in latent power. Glowing with new energy, Johnny leaps up and kick-smashes the superheated amulet, shattering it into a million tiny pieces. With the dark magic destroyed, Raiden instantly gets his full god powers back, easily blasting Shang Tsung right into a solid wall. Back in the Outworld arena, Kitana lands another massive hit on Shao Kahn. This time, without the power of the amulet protecting him, he actually bleeds. Realizing he is vulnerable, she goes on the absolute offensive. She furiously disarms his weapon, fiercely stabs him in the neck, and violently slices across his face. Desperate, Shao Kahn grabs her by the throat, trying to choke her out, but Kitana is too quick. She whips out her signature blue ribbon, forcefully wraps it around his thick neck, violently rips his helmet clean off, and drills her deadly razor fan straight through his skull, killing the Emperor once and for all. The brutal tournament is officially over. The realm of Edenia is completely free from the dark magic, and the massive crowd respectfully bows to their new leader, Queen Kitana. Sometime later, back on Earth, we see Johnny enthusiastically bragging and telling wild stories about the whole crazy adventure. Suddenly, Raiden and the surviving Earth heroes walk in. They have the dark necromancer Quan Chi securely locked up in heavy chains. Raiden smiles and reveals their final plan. They are going to force Quan Chi to use his magic to resurrect every single friend they lost along the way. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications if you enjoyed this movie. Please don't forget subscribe.